Ladies and gentlemen, the moment has arrived. The time has come. It is the beginning of the football season. It is September 7th, 2023. It is Thursday, and tonight in Kansas City, just a few miles from Indianapolis, we will see the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions, and all things will be right. But not all things are right because of that. They are right because after missing a week because of just busy schedules in life, we are back on POS Uncensored, where you're making sure that your POS, your point of sale, is not a complete POS piece of, you understand it. And the man who makes sure that happens is the person on the right-hand side of the screen, Mr. Matt Proctor. Matt, how are you on this hallowed holiday where we start back and the life is okay? The NFL and college football are back. Are you ready? And how is your fantasy team?
I am pumped, buddy. Can't wait. I tell you what, KC has a work cut out for him tonight against Detroit. So it should be a heck of a game, and I'm looking forward to the season. You know, I'm a Colts fan, so we got a new quarterback drafted. He's breaking all kinds of records for size and strength. So, yeah, definitely excited. I have way too many fantasy football teams. Trying to keep track of them is a whole nother job. So we'll see how that goes this year, but it's very, very exciting times.
All right, the question is, what's the best name of a fantasy football team that you have? What's your best name of your fantasy football team?
There's at least one that I can't say on here, I don't think.
That should have I pre-edited. I didn't go through. This is uncensored. It's POS Uncensored, man.
It is uncensored. I'll tell you two of the names that I've had for a long time. Okay, one of them almost 20 years. And that one's called Just the Tip. And so I'm glad this is uncensored. And then I've got Proctor's Pimps. So
all right.
Those are two of them.
I like them. Well, today we're not going to deal with Matt's fantasy dreams, fantasy team. All right, we're going to deal with, let's bring it down. Givehub, and Givehub specifically goes and works with nonprofits, and this is near and dear to me, Matt, because prior to working with PayProtect now for just coming up on 11 years, I worked in the nonprofit sector for 13 years and really more, and did fundraising and did all kinds. And I wish I knew now some of the things I know, but taking payments in nonprofit world, in the church world, we call it donations. To be able to do that and streamline that and help grow that is one of the biggest things. And it's a headache and it's a pain in the rear. And there's all checks and balances, and there should be. And there's a huge opportunity. As the screen says, there's over 1.6 million nonprofits and 460,000 churches in the U.S., and 70 to 80% of them are still using Stripe, PayPal, and a variety of things that don't serve them well.
Yeah, taking checks,
Yeah,
cash, and just not bringing in the money that really
yeah,
they could.
yeah,
And they just don't know. 15, 20 years ago, they couldn't really even take cards.
yep.
So that's why I'm so glad we're talking about this today, because we got to let everyone know about this opportunity, and to not be scared to walk in to your local churches and to help them. You're going in to help them.
Yeah. So the main piece here, and why it's part of the POS Pros and Point of Sale Uncensored, and even though maybe we're a little bit irreverent at times, this is a great topic for us because we want to help more and more nonprofits. We want to put more money doing good out in the world, especially in the United States where we're serving. And there's a wonderful point of sale system, a hardware, and it has some hardware and mostly software system created by the team down just north of Atlanta, and Kyle Sloan and his team. And Matt, tell us the basics, the little beginnings of how you want to describe payments hub, Givehub. Too many hubs.
We're
Givehub.
not doing the payments up today.
Yes.
Yes, what Kyle's built is really phenomenal. I love their software. Definitely more software driven. They do have hardware as an option. If the merchant would like to have a kiosk, then absolutely they can do a kiosk. Some people like that. So it's something people can see as tangible. They can walk right up and put in. But just look at all these options, giving them multiple options. Not only to be able to do online and go here to donate, but text giving is a huge deal. Everyone has a smartphone, or the majority of the world does now. So being able to text keywords to do donations or sign up for things. A lot of people don't realize that and don't think about the event, the silent auction, that this charity's doing, or they're having a get together for the kids, and to be able to go on and scan a code and be able to sign up for those events. All right, pay money into that. So that's it. Kyle just keeps adding more and more to his software, which is great. Having full reporting to be able to see their whole CRM, okay, their whole clergy, their whole not clergy, what I'm saying, that all the people, and see how much they've given, who are their top 10, maybe 20 people, and how much they've been given in tithing. They can reward them. So having the full reporting is something they've never had before. You don't know what Auntie Ruth Ann wrote on that check from 6-8 months ago. But with this, they have full analytics that they've never had their hands on before. So it's really versatile, and that's one thing we love about it. My team now is doing Givehub demos, which I'll talk about more in a little bit. So this is a big deal. We've had more and more agents requesting this around the country, saying, hey, do we have anything for my local church? Or do we have anything for this non-for-profit I've been working on? In the past, we never did. And so now, teaming up with Kyle, going through EPX Direct, being able to pass along the credit card fees. It's another huge thing. You guys all know me by now. We won't bring in a system if we don't have that capability, and it can't go through EPX. So boom, check. We got those checked off the list. Now let's get them on a demo. Let's show them how great this is. Let's do some donations. Let's show them the database. So lots of options. That's the key. And that's, I think, very important for churches especially.
Well, in this nonprofit world that we're trying to integrate with, and so whether it's churches or nonprofits, what the sweet spot you want to look for are those churches probably 1,500 or less parishioners, or those nonprofits that have around 5 to 7 employees. Once they grow a little larger, there's some software that's really, really hard to compete with that's doing their donor management and doing some of their things. It's very, very expensive, but it's very high end. And the Blackbauds and some of the other church softwares that are out there. And so you don't want to really go up against those. You want to find this probably around 1.5 million total merchants in the US that they're currently using PayPal or Stripe, or maybe they got set up their bank with some type, and they're doing a bunch of typing in cards, or maybe they went on or just using the QuickBooks Online to take online donations. And a lot of these places are probably doing somewhere between $20,000 and $50,000 a month of donations, and they're hodgepodging of credit card and debit cards, and they're hodgepodging all this and working it all together. And this is a seamless one-in class software that does a lot of different things. So let's go through a couple of the things that it does. First, I'll just show the slide here where it says that we're going to make sure you're SOAR, and you can do free donation kiosk, test giving, all the stuff. But let's go in specifically. This shows the text giving and the app. I think this is really cool because a lot of people forget to make that donation, and they can say, hey, text this word too. Can you guys walk through how that works, Matt?
Yeah, and I love that Kyle actually gives them an app. He builds their app so you can say, please, all in parishioners is the word. Thank you for saying that earlier, Nate. Have all the parishioners download the app. Okay, no matter what, they're going to want to do that. They're not going to have a problem doing that. It keeps them up to date with what's happening, what new events are coming up, things like that. So they can easily do it right there through the app. If they don't have the app, then obviously they can always text. Even if they have an old flip phone, they can still text. All right, from that flip phone to be able to go in and donate. And then obviously they want to direct people to their website, but they can have QR codes too. Hey, that's a whole nother thing that they can make it easier. Scan this code if you don't have the app and donate. So it's just the more options, the better. And with technology now, Kyle has really done a good job of navigating through that and adapting and changing with technology. And back to what you said earlier, Nate, some of even the larger churches still will stay with Givehub because his pricing, which we'll get to later, his pricing is so phenomenal that he still can compete with those big, larger, very specific softwares out there that are expensive.
Yeah. And especially if you can get on the ground floor, this is the great opportunity. If you especially get on some of these nonprofits or these churches that are starting to grow, or they're making a focus on making it seamless and how they take their donations and getting to those recurring donations. Because part of, having worked alongside Kyle for nearly, I think I've known him for 7 or 8 years now, he started out as free church giving kiosk, and this is kind of what it looked like. And you can still do this.
Yep.
The ability to make a kiosk donation and actually quickly make a card present donation. And this is the beauty of this. There are a lot of POS systems that struggle to do the hybrid between the e-commerce and card not present and the card present. This does it really well for nonprofits, Matt. Are you seeing people looking at these kiosks, or are they mostly focusing on the online?
We actually have not really had many at all that want the kiosks, which kind of surprised me because I think it's kind of nice to have, that as a feature. But some of them maybe don't have the space, or they don't see that as a need. It's just one more thing they kind of have to maintain, to have there. So it's nice that that option is available, but they know if they have the app downloaded, they have QR codes, they've got text numbers or text keywords to do. They don't necessarily have to have the kiosk. But it is nice for some of the smaller churches. They want that to be seen as soon as people come in, and they can customize it with the name of the organization or nonprofit. But yeah, that's something that Kyle's one of the first to just give people a free kiosk. I mean, that's unheard of nowadays.
It is. And what I like is that they also, then it's seamless into being able to work here with the online giving. And this is, we're going to walk through, and I'll switch it over to you, Matt, to kind of walk us through. But I like that they have a demo here. This is not really a demo, but some slides. They're online donations. Like, this is what it would look like. You click on the link that was just sent to you from a text, and it's going to pop up. It's going to have the church logo or the nonprofit's logo. It's going to have their pre-selected what they suggest as donation types. That's Can you kind of walk us through, and I'll kind of push through the screens here, Matt, and let you kind of talk us through this.
Yeah. So all of this that we're looking at here can be customized. Okay. So that's a big deal to be able to customize this, have different denominations in there. Obviously, they'll have their logo and everything. And one thing I love about this is not just the regular donation. Okay. That seems easy, simple. They can customize it however they want. But I like that they also have the events and groups, and that can be customized too. You can say whatever they want, but he calls it events, groups, and serving. And so that brings up a whole nother list of options where they can choose to sign up for things. So not only, okay, I want to donate $50 today, but I want to sign up, my kid for Sunday school, or Bible camp or whatever it is. I can do that as well right through the same page. So it's just having that option. And then you'll see it's probably on the next slide. Once you choose that dollar amount, okay, nope, perfect. This is where it's going. Okay, so you see where it says select fund. Those are some of my groups. Okay, I'm donating to memorial event, a memorial fund for someone who passed away. Also, I'm donating for my regular tithing. And then when you hit confirm here, it goes to the final page. There's where we get into the percentage for credit cards. And this can be turned on and off at any time. They can even hide this, so it automatically shows, the full amount. It really comes down to how the organization wants to do it. But this is something that we go through in a demo. So we explain this to them that we want you to be able to take all these payments, but not hurt you and not have to pay the credit card fees. And we've had no negative pushback at all from any parishioners. If they want to use card, they understand. It's just like buying anything now, online. There's going to be some kind of credit card fee.
I love it. And let me share a story here. So Scott Harrison, who founded the company Charity Water, the nonprofit Charity Water, one of the largest and most transparent charities out there. And one of the things they did when they first started out, he was a former nightclub promoter turned Africa water specialist and trying to raise money to build wells in Africa and now around the world through Charity Water. One of the things he's like, man, I really want to make sure when someone gives a donation, I don't want to have to spend it on overhead and paying our staff and stuff like that. And one of the biggest things he had to do is figure out, so he created two nonprofits. One, so he made sure that when you gave $100 to Charity Water, $100 of that immediately went to whatever campaign, if you were building a well in Zambia or whatever you were giving to. And it was a great transparency. And then he built a second nonprofit where he raised money to pay for the overhead of the business. And one of the things was the credit card processing fees. And what I like about this is that was something he could do. He's built, I think it's $1 billion nonprofit doing really, really good things around the world. But all these nonprofits that are in your town, in your homes, the churches that are doing it, it's a great thing to be able to say to them, man, if you're giving $100 to us, we don't want the Visa and MasterCard to lessen your impact. Would you be considering to give 103 so we can put 100 or 103.50 in this case and put it into the work that we're trying to do? And I don't think anybody's going to question that. Man, yes, I want to give $100 to this project, to you guys as a nonprofit, to the church. I want to make sure it goes to the mission. I'll take care of at least the credit card fees, making sure that you can do the work and you're getting what I really want you to have. And I think it's a great message. And we've never, you don't have to call this cash discount or dual pricing. In this case, they do have the capability where you can add ACH stuff in and things if you want to, but it's a lot of cool stuff. Matt, I'm going to go through, let me see where the next slide is here. This is an important slide, Matt. I'll let you talk about it. Do you want to make this a recurring donation? I love that.
Oh, yes. That's so important. And this is so wildly popular. Kyle and I talked about this one day, that, as they get more comfortable with the software and as the members, the parishioners and members of the church or the private organization get more comfortable using this gets clicked by almost everyone. And then you get this guarantee money coming in. So if they know they're consistently at $30, $40, $50,000, a month coming in, well, they can count on that. They can budget that out. They can plan on their next remodel or whatever needs to be fixed, in the actual church. And then obviously their goal is to keep getting, more and more people. But it just makes it easier for the donators too, because I don't want to have to keep doing it every single Sunday. If I can just put on a certain amount that feels comfortable to me, and I know that whether that's weekly, whether it's biweekly, monthly, it's going to keep coming out automatically, and I'm taking care of my church. So I love that he added that feature.
Well, and it's an important feature in nonprofit world because like in our world, it's all about residuals. In most of the business, we're talking about recurring revenue. And for a nonprofit, they're hoping for regular donations. In fact, they would, instead of you giving us $1,200 in January, they would rather try to get $150 a month for 12 months and try to, make maybe a little more instead of those one-time donations. And certainly all nonprofits will take the one-time donations. But the importance is getting to that recurring revenue where hey, I know that I have on the 1st and the 15th of the month, we're going to see donations of the X because of recurring revenue and recurring donations. So you can start building budgets. That's the hardest thing in nonprofit church. What do? We don't know that 4 months from now something's not going to change. But if you have build on a base of recurring revenue and recurring donations, it's just such a powerful tool, and to make it easy and simple for people to do and manage and be able to turn on and off. It really, I mean, Givehub's made that really, really easy to do. Let me move on here. I'll show here, Matt, we can kind of walk through this, but the recurring payments, this is a slide whether you want weekly, monthly, bi-weekly. I don't know. Can you customize those buttons, or is it all just those three options?
Those are the only three at this point.
Yeah.
So yes, at this point, it's just the weekly, monthly, bi-weekly. I don't know if Kyle's ever had anyone ask, for different amounts, but that is currently the only way it can be set up.
Yep.
And I would say most people do either the weekly or the monthly.
Yeah. Well, and I think it depends how some people want to give it, especially in churches. Every time I get paid, and they're getting paid bi-weekly. Here they show Kyle's personal card information. No, just kidding. But that little checkbox, that's really, really important. Let's zoom in on there. It blurs up a little bit.
Saving a card.
Yep. Use that. That's something they give the choice for them to do. But when you do that, that tokenizes and makes it something that they can do and use. And these more slides here. Several slides of Kyle's name here. And let's see. Oh, you know what? That's because, let me get back to regular. See, I played. There we go. Events. You've mentioned it a little bit before. I like this is that little events groups serve that they can do some basic management of events and even some basic ticketing.
Yeah. And it's not all about payments all the time. Like you see volunteer right there. They want to sign up to volunteer. My son and I are going to volunteer this week. They want to track and see how many people are going to be coming. So even though I'm not using that for money and not paying anything for it, we can still absolutely set that up.
Yep. All right. And look at all the arrows, some of the samples of the events, and then it's saving the information in there. So if you have, you can, especially in churches, but even, hey, which winter people are coming, who's going to show up, birthdays, and it does some basic management of, like, for children's ministries and things like that, being able to, you can hook up label printers to do name tags and say, hey, a reminder on this name tag, Nate has a peanut allergy. Don't get him anywhere near peanuts. Matt has a okra allergy. He doesn't like slimy vegetables. Those are often around, and you can manage all these through here. And then the groups and the volunteers, people inside, it's really a powerful resource.
Yeah. And one thing he added this past year was the daycare. So check in for childcare. Like you said, they could do a label printer. They can actually print the label, kid's name on there. But parents are securely and safely checking in and checking out their child. And so they have their own secure login to be able to check in or out their child. If no one else has that login, obviously they're not letting your child be taken by anyone. So it's just little things like that where he keeps adding and adapting. People request certain things, and then he's been making it happen, which is great.
It is. And let me see. So some of the things about the admin and the dashboards, you have the back end that provides a lot of reports.
So they have full access to back office dashboard, so they can see everything. Not only just what profit they've been bringing in, but look at, like I said earlier, your most active donors, the top 10 that maybe have put these things in. What are my reoccurring donors? Once again, we're talking about budgeting. Can I go in and see exactly how many? Okay, I've got these 473 people are my reoccurring donors. That's great, but I know we've got 5,000 other people, in the parishioners. How can we get more of them moved over to there? Having the staff in here, hey, if they want to have their staff in here. So it's great that he's got this, because they still have their payments hub and can see the cards and everything on our end on the card side, but being able to manage the events, set up new promotions, and like I said earlier, silent auctions or memorial fund for someone, they can easily set that up at any given time through the back office. And Kyle's team does a full-blown training, as many trainings really as they want, to make sure they understand, okay, here's how you can set up these new things. So they're not going to leave the merchant until they completely feel comfortable with the back office. Oh, perfect. Look at the charts there.
Yep.
Love charts.
Yep.
Those are great.
Well, and I think it ties in. You can start seeing who's checked in. They have a variety of reports that you can run. I mean, these are things that are that are just very easy to use, very simple to use. And I think for a nonprofit in those churches makes life, because it's usually volunteers. Some of these places have staff, but there's volunteers that are doing this work.
Yeah, absolutely. And usually it's pen and paper, and they're doing the best they can. So yeah, being able to have the reporting here is really nice.
And I like this ability. You can send it to an Excel on a digital file, so you can have a a basic XLS file that you can turn and use anywhere, but you can also put in PDF or Word, and you can export to different. It looks like I haven't seen that. Is it different
Well,
types of software that it can export to?
yeah, different software. So that's what he currently does now. If they happen to use Power Church or Servant Keeper, which I think those are both just accounting, different types of accounting software, it can easily export directly to those.
Yep.
So yeah, those are ones that Kyle has run into, and people have requested for him to do the integration, so he did.
Yeah. Well, I think you can see, you can put pictures. There's so many things you can do, but it's just whether it's giving kiosk or online giving or text giving or being able to use the mobile app. This is a great tool for you to reach out to nonprofits and to realize something. So if you're in a small town of say 50,000 or less, you probably have 150 nonprofits in that town that are looking and using some type of online payment system, and they are frustrated and they're paying fees, and it doesn't work as easily as they want to, and it's taking too many volunteer hours away from what their true core mission is. And you have an opportunity. If you're in a larger community, you have thousands of these, and as we said, millions across the United States. It's a huge opportunity. Matt, who are you seeing as you've been taking over the duty as your POS Pros team of doing these demos? What are some of the things that you're hearing from our partners, and what are you hearing also from these, we'll call them merchants, but these nonprofits, these churches, that's really getting you excited about Givehub?
To be honest, Nate, I'm hearing nothing but great feedback. We've mainly had churches that have been coming through from our agents throughout the country. I was just on one with my team a few weeks ago just to make sure everything was good and goes smoothly, because we just started doing the demos in house, and that's mainly because Kyle is just got too much on his plate. I mean, he's so busy. He's the owner of the company. He can't keep jumping in and doing demos. So we have a great partnership there, and just they're so shocked. I guess that's the best thing, Nate, is when I've seen the demos, when I did the demo of this merchant, they're just kind of shocked that this is out there. Like, where was this, years ago? Like, this is great. And then as we're going through and walking how they can customize it, and hey, guess what? If you want to do, this silent auction, we can create a word that says auction. They text auction to this, or whatever that number, and then they can sign up to go to the silent auction, things like that. It just kind of blows their mind, which is great to see, because it's not like any other software we've ever provided before. And so that's a big deal to have that in our arsenal and really be able to help these companies that they not only need it, but we want them to succeed. We want to give back to the community. We want to help.
I
So
love it.
so far it's been amazing.
And let me take you over to mypapertech.com, which should be your resource for all things point of sale. And you can go to the point of sale section, click on Givehub. I've done that. There's going to be more even materials here soon. We just downloaded several more, and they'll be up here in the next couple of days. And if you are ready and you have a merchant, a church, or a nonprofit that's ready to go over to poslead.com or go to mypapertech.com and click on POS Lead and put in the information. It'll go right to Matt's team, and let's get that process rolling. Helping and serving nonprofits, doing good, well, being able to provide the service that's going to make some recurring revenue for you, increase recurring revenue for the church or the nonprofit, and will help us do more good. I love it. It's really a great thing to pull together. Any closing words on Givehub, Matt?
Well, what I found out, throughout the years is a lot of churches and non-for-profits, um, they all know each other. It's similar to a restaurant. We talk about all the time. You get to know one restaurant owner, and guess what? They're introducing you to their other friends that all own different restaurants of ours. It's the same thing right here, guys. Once you get one under your belt and have us help you, walk you through the whole process, then they're spreading your name out there. So there are other non-for-profits, okay, friends and family. Oh, you know what? They go over here. I don't think they have anything like that. And so it's really, a great way to grow your portfolio in a whole different demographic that you might not be used to. Because in the past, I think everyone kind of avoided them, or just thought, we got nothing other than, a little pay anywhere swiper to give them. But now we do have a full blown solution. Oh,
All right.
yes. And Nate, one more thing. It's really important.
Yep.
Right now, we go through pricing, everything on the demos. Pricing is extremely reasonable. They can pay monthly or annually. But if someone goes through the POS office, does the demo through us, if they sign up within 30 days of us going through that demo, then Kyle is going to take off half the cost. So if that means monthly, like we just signed up a huge church, they wanted everything, all the bells and whistles. All the bells and whistles, guess what? It's $150 a month, which that still isn't bad. That's for everything. But they signed up within a week and a half. And so Kyle dropped it to $75 locked in forever. That's not for 1 year. That is $75 for all the bells and whistles. If they would have paid annual, whatever that is, $1,500 or bigger than that, he cut that in half too. So they can either pay annually or pay the monthly. But for $75 to have everything, the texting, the apps, I mean, it was a ridiculous deal. And so he's doing that through our office. It's a special promotion that we have through the POS Pros office. So keep that in mind too, that is a huge selling point. You're going to save them all the money on credit cards, get them set up a great system, and there's that extra incentive to get them on board within the first 30 days.
I love it. Well, I mean, I don't know what else you can say. I mean, that's pretty doggone.
Yeah.
That's a good deal. And it's a huge incentive. I love when you have scarcity is a sales tactic. And that we don't do it enough. And I knew of the 50% off. I didn't know the 30 days, and that it gives that drive and that belly of, hey, you got to get this moving, got to make those decisions. Because the thing is about nonprofits and churches is the decision-making process is and should be different. They have to go to their boards. Different. They may have to make several decisions. It's a lot of volunteers that are involved. It's not like going into the restaurant where really it's just 1 to 3 people that are making that decision. It's going to be a little bit more, but they can move faster, and sometimes they just need a little incentive. Saving 50% gives them a little of incentive.
That's a big incentive. Yeah, yep. Yeah. So far it's gone extremely well, and for what I've seen from my team, we're batting almost 100%. Every lead that's coming for Givehub, we get them on a demo. It's a done deal. So keep putting in the leads, guys. POSlead.com.
Keep batting 100%, just like the Chicago Cubs. We love that. Thank you very much, Mr. Matt Proctor. This has been another POS Uncensored. We will be back, I think, next week. We'll be for sure around Thursday, around 1:30 every week. Except, sometimes we have to watch it out. We'll get it out there. But you go to YouTube, subscribe, like. You'll get the content right directly to you. Thank you so much, Mr. Proctor. We'll see you next time on POS Uncensored. Cheers,
Thanks,
everybody.
Guys. Bye.